All right, we're back to banging up to these previous highs, banging this pretty much this band of selling that. Well, basically last time there was some selling and it came right here, so we're continuing up. Again, there was really no pullbacks. It's continuing higher. I just wanted to draw this line to show that they're at 10%. Basically, the Fed, whoever came in to stop it from going any further than that, because at 10% and above, they'll be automatically rolling into some programs to just sell, 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 and it would have capitulated really, really hard after that. Again, can't knock it. Again, look at what's going on. We want to see what happens next week. We want to see what happens week starting probably midweek, and we'll see what's going on because again, year end for mutual funds is tomorrow. So just keep that stuff in mind. Again, if I was been day trading a lot of this over the past couple of days, but I'm not going to take any swing positions going into this, especially after such a huge run up. There's no real entry for me right here, right now. And it is what it is. So let's look at the weekly, and you can see that the volume is definitely low. Continuing to be low coming into these highs, and again we need to see what's going to happen next week. Okay, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, I swear, because I know these guys are some dirty bastards and I know what they're willing to do, and they could even come take the highs out because there's a ton of breakout people over here just waiting. They see this little tight flag and they are just chomping at the bits for it. Just be very cautious if you're going to do it. Tighten stops, scale accordingly. Don't scale, don't risk $1 and make 10 cents, but scale sensibly to capture some of this stuff as well. We're looking at the weekly. Again, you see the volume is tapering off. Okay, even if we look at the monthly for the QQQ, again, you could say, all right, huge reversal candle, but where is it within the trend? That's the thing that you really got to look at and say, you want this to happen or something like this to happen, not all the way up here that you get this type of candle, because it's broken a couple of months, about 3-4 months lows as well, and that's something to be cautious about. All right, let's get back to the daily time frame. Looking at the IWM, we see it's continuing again from this little flag. It popped up and it's continuing. Still got the lower highs in place. If you look at it, still got the lower highs in place. Still not out the woods, but it's a lot better, position than it was a couple days ago. That's a cap. I know you're like, all right, Captain Obvious. Well, again, I really want to see what's going on. Dow, this is grandma telling you, oh, the market did well today. It's 30 components. We really want to harp on that too much. Apple's continuing higher. Again, if you're in, I would be definitely looking to peel off stops, and pretty much my target would be around that 106.22. The initial target that I posted July 25th was 104.50. And it blasted through that, so I would just be rolling my stop up and not being a pig if you were in long and went pretty much long after this. I think this was earnings pop up, and you pretty much made a gap and go type of play. I wouldn't be a pig after getting all of this profit. Google still, still underneath these, this level right here. So I would, it needs to, in fact, let me change this bar out, so I don't need to give you all this information. Okay, let me get an arrow here. So this is the low right here, and we still want to see what happens at that level. Okay, it's still just grinding up, lower volume. Just be cautious, be careful. Again, you see it was creeping, then gave that lower high from here, boom, down. So just got to be cautious regarding that. Netflix, again, maybe caught a couple people looking to go short, putting their stop above here. We'll see what happens again. So the volume is weak on both sides. So, but you could clearly see, I mean, if you look at the weekly, you're not going to say, okay, You can see how sloppy this is. Again, another grind. We're just saying we want some separations. We want these lows to at least not be violated. And you got one, and then it just, maybe you had a pivot here, and boom, back down again. Just got to be cautious with these big names. These big names are not really showing any sexiness during all of this this rally. You have this as well, price line bucking up against, some type of resistance as well. Could be, you could probably put this as well. This was a good short right here based on this previous high, previous pivot, and also this previous pivot. Just seeing some nice spacing. Talk about that, and you can see this going on. So you have that spacing that you see continuing to go lower, broke down. Again, it's not giving anything, crazy with this huge rally going on. V bottom, and you're looking at some heavy duty names. They're moving, but again, they're not breaking out to new highs or anything like that, and they're all on weaker volume. Microsoft is still bucking up against this zone right here, so you can see. Let me see if I use this tool right. Yeah, you have all this going on right here. It's just bucking up against resistance. So we'll see how that plays out. You got Goldman Sachs still looking good per se, but again, it's starting to buck up against some type of resistance. Okay, so you see that going on. Bank of America. You see, if it breaks below and you still have these lower highs in place, so you want to be cautious regarding this. Don't be a pig, and you see the weekly, it is grinding and grinding. So just be cautious regarding it. It's flushed down, and now it's just in and out, in and out. But again, you have some higher lows. That's the only good thing about this right here for the weekly. You have these higher lows in place. So that's a good thing for that. But let's see how this one plays out. Again, I'm expecting it to float it or continue to go higher. But again, I want to see what happens next week. Okay, and I don't know if they have anything that they have to settle for like 1 or 2 days, and then they can really show their hand from there. So again, make sure you look at the big picture. If you're doing some stuff on the daily, that's cool. I'm not saying that you're wrong, especially with such a huge move up. But the volume does 10 tails. Listen, I'm not one of those guys that if the volume is not going up, I'm saying you don't participate in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying you need to keep these things in the back of your mind and you trade accordingly. I switched up back into more of my day trading mode for the interim because I kind of want to see what's happening. I don't want to get surprised. So take care.